We have a bunch of Nintendo Switch 2 news to talk about, including a big new Microsoft game happening soon. LEGO has officially revealed the brand new LEGO set celebrating the 30th anniversary of Pokémon, and Nintendo president shares an update with the company's plan for the future. And so much more. Let's get straight into the video. So starting off the 30th anniversary of Pokemon Strong, we have LEGO sets. Now these LEGO sets are really interesting. You have a little Pikachu with a cute little Pokeball and he looks super adorable. You also have another picture of Pikachu, a little Thunderbolt as the bottom, the little base, which is really interesting. You got yourself a Blastoise, a Charizard, and a Venusaur. These are all really cool. And this is them together in the massive base. Now this is a very interesting photo indeed, but we're going to be talking about that later. And then you got a cute little Eevee, of course. These are just either generated backgrounds or just taking the picture and throwing it there. Anyways, this is really interesting. Then we have to talk about all of this. So these LEGO sets are going to be happening on the 27th. So of course, Pokemon Day, you will be able to buy that. Whole bunch of different things, but what I really wanted to get into here is the prices. Alright, so for the Eevee, you get to pay $60. In Canada, that would be approximately $80. Now, you also have the Pokemon with the Pikachu. This is $200. In Canada, you're paying about $300 for this. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, you got the Venusaur and the Charizard and the Blastoise. So you have to pay $650. So that is roughly $850, maybe even $900 in Canada. When you really take this in consideration, you can buy a whole Nintendo Switch 2 for that price. You could buy a whole PS5 for that price. You could buy a whole kit of RAM for that price. That's a little bit ridiculous. Maybe this could be the original price. I don't follow LEGO too often. But I know that's a ridiculous price for that. But overall, it is still very cute and adorable, and it celebrates the 40th anniversary or the 30th anniversary of Pokemon very well. You got a whole bunch of things. Anyways, moving over to the next story I wanted to cover. Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, one big game that you've probably want to see on Nintendo Switch for a while is actually Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty is definitely a very interesting thing, and we have current code for Nintendo inside of this game. Now this is really great because then we could start to see Call of Duty on Nintendo Switch 2. Now there's a big possibility of seeing it in the upcoming Nintendo Direct. And speaking on Nintendo Direct, and if you take a look at this right here, we have a French journalist that claims to know when the Nintendo Direct is going to be. So no, we're not going to be seeing a Direct in January, but in fact we're going to be seeing it in February, or the second week of February. Now February 10th is supposedly when this Nintendo Direct is going to happen, and it's going to bring out with it a couple big things. Now what he does mention right here is a new 3D Mario. Now this is all very interesting indeed. If we're finally going to be seeing a 3D Mario, I think 2026 it's gotta be the year for a brand new 3D Mario. After the movie, imagine that. You go and watch the movie, and then a couple months later, or maybe weeks later, you get yourself a brand new 3D Mario. It would be hit all over. Hit at the box office, and hit at the store shelves, where everybody's gonna go and pick up their brand new 3D Mario game after learning about this. Now, hopefully, this is true, because this would be great. February 10th of a Nintendo Direct, my goodness, it really blows things out of proportion. And now, if we take a look at this right here, we have a bunch of news that pointing towards Nintendo's plan. Now, if you look at this right here, there's a bunch of things to go over. Like, we are supposedly going to be seeing something else for the Zelda movie. Now, this is really interesting because, hey, who doesn't want to see something about the Zelda movie? The Switch 2 in the global economic system is actually interesting because right now, RAM prices, as you probably know, are really off the charts. But it seems like Nintendo Switch 2 supply is stable enough right now. So this means this is pretty good. It means that the Switch 2 might not go up in price as soon as we thought, but probably by the end or the middle of 2026, we're probably going to start to see those price increases, depending on how many consoles they sell, of course. But this seems to be a really interesting thing. Not only are we going to be seeing the Mario movie this year, but probably more information on the Legend of Zelda movie, probably a trailer during the next upcoming Nintendo Direct, or maybe even later on in the year. The 40th anniversary of Legend of Zelda is going to take place and is going to bring a lot of interesting things. 30th anniversary of Pokemon, and also the 40th anniversary of Metroid. Now this is all some interesting and exciting news. It really believes what exactly is going to be happening this year. I think this year definitely will be a very interesting and exciting year for the Nintendo Switch 2, or maybe Nintendo as a whole, because we still have amazing games coming to the system in 2026, or for the original Nintendo Switch. You have Tamagotchi Life. It seems like you might get Pokemon Champions. That's something that seems like it's going to happen, and a couple other games. So what exactly is next? Now going straight over to Splatoon 3. Now apparently there's going to be a version 11.0 update coming to Splatoon 3. Now this is really awesome because hey, who doesn't want to continue seeing that game get updates? I honestly wish that Mario Kart World would get the same amount of love. This game is on the 11th update. It's probably been more, but I haven't really been keeping track on this. But this 11.0 update is supposedly going to happen January 29th. Now this is really awesome indeed because it's supposedly going to bring a whole bunch of weapon kits and other things in this update. So overall, are you excited for that? And speaking on Splatoon, we know the winners of what happened in Splatoon Fest or Splatfest. So if you take a look at this right here, we got more votes for who would you spend the holidays with? Solo, family, friends. Usually I would say that the holiday you would spend it with family, but apparently not. Solo is in fact the one that comes on top. So overall that is very, very interesting when you take it into consideration. And actually, family is sort of worse. It's the bottom. It's the third place if you take that into consideration. Total of 0 points. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. What are your favorite things happening soon? Are you excited for the upcoming Nintendo Direct or even the upcoming games? Or do you think, well, they're not that exciting? Anyways, consider to let me know in the comment section down below, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and with that being said, see you in the next one.